Yeah, we're live. Let me reach out to Pastor Bolarinwa that we're live. Let me tell all our friends that we're live. Glory to God. Mahami Alfred from Ghana. Good to see you again, young man. God bless you. Jesu Damilola, good evening and God bless you. How do you all do today? Praise God. Happy Easter, everyone. All right, Pastor Bolarinwa is already with us. Miss Olubukola Ibikunle, woman of God, I celebrate you. Good evening and God bless you. Happy Easter. I'm waiting for Pastor Bolarinwa's video to become clear so that we can launch into tonight. We apologize for the delay in media setup. We shall commence shortly. Happy Easter. God bless you from Ghana. I celebrate you. All right, please help invite our friends so that we can go a long way tonight in getting our work done. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Maximum respect from here, sir.
Good evening.
Happy Easter
Thanks
to
for
your family, sir. I'm glad to have you here.
I wish you the same. I wish everyone the same.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So, by God's grace, we began last week, but we're not able to do so much because of the time and the hiccups that we had. But I'm glad that we are together here tonight to have a very great session. So, what I would do is I've shared this online. My friend, please let's do well. Those of you on WhatsApp, let's do well to share this on our status broadcast and all that so that as many more can come and benefit, all right, from the wisdom that Mr. Sanni Bolarinwa will be sharing with us tonight. This is not something to take for granted. Our generation is used to taking things for granted, but we should change that narrative. All right, the achievements of people should be celebrated, all right, to the glory of God, and that way we are also able to receive of that which they intend to communicate to us. So I'm very grateful for your time here. What I will do very quickly is that I'm going to introduce you properly by reading out your profile. The reason for this is because of now and those that will follow after now. So please permit me, sir. I know you're a humble man, but allow me to do my job for now. Thank you very much, sir. So I'll just give people 2 minutes to quickly share, all right, the link with our friends. Some of my friends are also here with me in the study. So let's all share the links everywhere and invite more people to join us tonight. Sometimes I know that the algorithm changes and sometimes it's 2, but you find out that it was actually more than 2. So we're not distracted by that. All right, so very quickly, let me read. He chooses to go by Mr. Sanni Bolarinwa. So I would read his profile here and you will follow me as I read. Education, membership in professional societies, MBA, Lagos Business School, Pan Atlantic University, BSc, Banking and Finance, Ekiti State University, Financial Modeling and Valuation, KPMG, Nigeria. Registered sponsored member of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Nigeria. Summary of work experience. Vice President, PAC Capital Limited. Senior Associate, Specialized Finance Division, PAC Capital Limited. Associate, Project and Infrastructure Division, PAC Capital Limited. Deputy Manager, Asset Management Division, Financial Derivatives Company Limited. Deputy Manager, Research and Market Intelligence Unit, Financial Derivatives Company Limited. Assistant Manager, Research and Market Intelligence Unit, Financial Derivatives Company Limited. Financial Analyst, Saro Africa Limited. Deputy Manager, Operations and Special Projects Cultural Ventures Limited. All right. Summary of transaction experience. Bolarinwa Sanni is a. I'm already inspired by this one. Sir. Even if he doesn't say anything again, I'm getting something. All right. Bolarinwa Sanni is a versatile investment banker with in-depth experience in financial advisory and fundraising across the African region. His passion to be part of the development of Africa has endeared him to prioritize and support clients with investment interest and developmental projects across strategic sectors in Africa. His investment banking experience covers several African markets and has been involved in transactions across several sectors. Now, with gratitude, celebration, joy, let us welcome here tonight Mr. Sanni Bolarinwa. Can we welcome friends online, everyone? Can we welcome? This is a great man. This is a great man with a track record. So I celebrate you, sir, and I am humble. I'm humble now. We're ready to learn. So what I would do is I would just throw the ball open. I remember, sir, that our last week, the last session we had, people were already throwing in questions, even in the short time that we had, but we were not able to delve into them because of time. So what I would do is to maximize our time. Those who have questions to ask, sorry, sir. Those who have questions, please attend. Those who have questions to ask, all right, please you would help me to. Those who have questions to ask, in case I'm not able to see all of them, just keep sending in your questions so that somebody will be helping me to note them here, and then we'll be addressing them, all right, as time goes on, so that you don't get to forget your questions. He will be willing to attend to it within the time frame that we have. So please settle in, gather your friends, gather your families, gather your neighbors. Let's come and learn something very strategic about finance.
of that. The truth is, more often than not, those people with those challenges all just need to sit down and reflect critically. How well have you been able to manage the relationship with these three buckets of three spheres of layers that you have in the workplace? Because the truth is, no superior except possessed. And of course, if possessed, you as a believer should also be able to manage that from a spiritual realm. Now, let's take out the aspect of being possessed from the equation. No superior will not cherish a subordinate that adds value. Every boss will always celebrate, in fact, and will always promote and encourage any superior that adds value to them and make life easier for them. Of course, that's why they have in their team. If you don't add value to your boss, no matter how much you speak in tongues, he's not going to be happy with you. You know, so number one is the value addition. Number two is also managing your superior, managing your peers, and managing your subordinates. That level of management is required, you know, for anyone who is going to succeed in the workplace. One thing we need to bear in mind is humans are political animals, as you know, as defined, and everywhere any organization you go to or you work in, there will be politics. You have politics everywhere.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it. You have politics everywhere. Even in the family, you have politics.
Among the children.
Of course. You have politics. So once you bear that in mind, and you understand the people, number one, you need to understand the people you are dealing with. You need to understand your boss. What are his expectations, or his or her expectations? What are his likes or dislikes? You know, some bosses do not like their subordinates to go above them to deal with their own boss. If that's the kind of situation you find yourself, of course, you then need to manage your boss and work within the confine of his expectation. Otherwise, you may go above him, but the truth is, when it comes to appraiser, he's still going to be the one to appraise you. You will not be there when those recommendations are going to be made. He will be the one to ratify the recommendation. In the same vein, when you are dealing with your peers, you understand your peers. Just the way, you know, some people have made themselves mini gods in quotes. They want everything from everybody without, you know, also putting responsibility on themselves, you know, to meet the expectations of others. The truth is, just the way you have expectations, other people, your peers, too have expectations. You know, just the way you want them to add value to you, they also want you to add value to them. Everybody do not be. The reality is, in their workplace, we are not going to have the same temper. So you have to be able to manage people's temper. You have to be able to massage people's ego. You know, the way I will deal with party A may not be the way I will deal with party B. And what is the difference? My understanding of party A helps me to know how to deal with party A, and I can't use the same yardstick at crossboard. Otherwise, there's going to be an issue. Because I can't insist that Mr. A should respond the same way at which Mr. B will respond. If that's my way of modus operandi, the reality is I'm going to be having issues with other people except Mr. A, who have taken time to study. So, which means I need to take time to study and understand everybody that I work with as much as possible. The same vein, I also need to take time to understand my subordinates as much as possible, because that is the only way I can derive maximum value from them. The truth is, you don't expect everybody in the team to behave the same way. They don't have the same background.
True.
They all have different backgrounds, but realize that they all have value to add.
True.
As long as you bear in mind that they all have value to add and they have different backgrounds, as a leader, as a subordinate, as a team player, I must be able to diffuse a way to manage everybody across board. Of course, wow. there will be some times when you will be displeased with people. And I said to people, it's fine, to be unhappy with the act that the person committed, But the truth is, we must be able to separate people from issues. I may not be happy with what you did.
You must be able to separate people from issues. That's very key, sir. That's a key word, sir. We must be able to separate people from issues. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, you must be able to separate people from issues. That helps a great deal, so that you don't just get on fighting with everybody and building enmity across board. Because issues will change or situations will change from time to time. But you should be able to appreciate the human being and deal with the issues so that you can maintain your relationship with people. Otherwise, if you lump up people with issues, you will just create enmity across board, which is, what creates an unhealthy and a toxic workplace. The truth is, my subordinates may do a job and I'm not happy with it. I should be able to tell him, Mr. Man, what you have done is below expectation. This is what I expect you to do. Please, can you go and attend to it this way?
Without
it doesn't
sentiment.
mean that person, of course, it doesn't mean that person is a good for nothing. No, it's just that at that point, what he has done is below expectation. So which means that once we have discussed it, and I say this from time to time to I discuss it with my subordinates and my colleagues at the office. I say, see, I don't have any personal issues against you. There's no reason to have that. If we're having this conversation, it's because I'm having this conversation out of love. Number one, I'm having this conversation with you in the interest of the job. It is because of this. It is not that I hate you as a person. You as a person, you are a fantastic person, but this that you have done is not up to par. Let's try and address it and bring it to the level that it will get us the desired result. Wow. For me, that's very important. So emotional intelligence is very important in the workplace.
Okay.
It's at the bedrock of a whole lot of people's success. It's also the undoing of a lot of people, even believers, is also traceable to this subject.
Wow.
As against the devil that people point to sometimes.
So it is irresponsibility on the part of a Christian to blame everything on the devil when he or she is not even working on himself or herself. Your common courtesy, hello, greeting your boss, greeting your colleagues, getting things done tidily, arranging your workspace, making things, submitting the necessary documents at the right time, packaging your business stuff properly, paying attention to details. Sometimes your tie is about to enter inside the collar. You're not paying attention to details. And then you say, it's a demon. It's a demon. So those things are the way of making many Christians that think like that lose out on great things in the corporate world. So ignorance, redundancy, unwillingness to add value to yourself and to others will keep you at the lower echelon in your pursuit of vision, your career goals, your business endeavor. That is great, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Maybe I want to add one more question so that people can ask questions. When it comes to, because there are a lot of Christians, sir, who I know, at least I've met some people, especially young people now, who have potentials. You can see that there's potential here. But the person is not directly under you with respect to what they are trying to pursue. For example, I'm a pastor. There's a limit to which I can have influence over a person in their career, especially when it's not directly my field. I can only teach Bible principles to succeeding in any career, not just, streamlined to that level. So, sir, how can a person develop self-confidence, break out of fear, intimidation, timidity, and be able to bring their value to bear and achieve their goals? How can we develop self-confidence in the workplace and achieve our goals, sir?
Okay, thank you very much for that question, and I will build it on two pillars.
Okay,
one is self-discovery.
Okay.
Number two, knowledge, acquisition of knowledge. Now, how vital or what role does self-discovery, do in building self-confidence? Now, more often than not, the reason why people are either jittery or lose it in the workplace is usually related to the fear of the unknown. For instance, someone goes into a meeting and hears the first presenter make presentation, and by the virtue of that presentation, everything he had in his head, he flew up, and he is unable to communicate wisdom. When he came to his own turn to make presentation, because fear took over. It's not because he doesn't know it. It's just because fear. He allowed fear to take over. Because he became intimidated by the last presenter and allowed fear to set in. And of course, because of that, he lost composure, and that led to a failed session. Of course, probably he went there to pitch an opportunity on behalf of his company at a business meeting, and the people who he's pitching to can see that this person does not have the confidence, cannot even communicate, the value that, of course, I think that you hit the wall on the head. Effective communication. He's unable to effectively communicate to the audience. And for me, from experience, I think one can trace it back to self-discovery. Now, why am I saying? Now, what I've come to realize is we need to get to the point of knowing who we are and our uniqueness. We can't be the same. Some people are fast speakers. Some people are better off when they speak at a very slow pace. And who says the person who speaks fast is better than the person who speaks at a very slow pace? No. important thing. I've seen people who love picking their words, as in speak at a very slow pace, and at the end of the day, the audience will give them a round of applause because they could pick knowledge from what they've said.
Yeah.
And I've seen people who, you know, in a function spoke at a very fast pace, but at the end of the day, you can't even pick any sense in what they've said. No, so the fact that someone who spoke before you is a fast speaker does not mean you should then get there. You know that you are a slow-paced person, you have your own style, and of course that comes to knowing yourself. You have your own style. You know how well you move. You know when you speak fast, you will make a mess of what you're saying. You know you need to choose your words because that's the way. That's your own style of making your presentation. You know, and you know that is your comfort, your own comfort zone. Rather than staying in your comfort zone, you jump into, you know, trying to mimic or trying to be like other people. Of course, it will be a challenge. So for me, we may not exhaust things as it relates to discovering oneself, but the truth is, it starts from you knowing your own uniqueness. I know my own uniqueness. You know, I've had time past where I've struggled, you know, to try and mimic or copy other people's style. And I've seen that it's been a struggle. But
it didn't work.
Of course, over time, I've discovered that, see, this is what works for me. And if I want to ensure consistency, if I want to ensure that I'm able to deliver on my own, on the task that has been given to me, I need to know myself and begin to master, you know, in that my area of uniqueness.
Excellent.
Unfortunately, a lot of people don't take time to study themselves. They study other things for themselves. But the reality is, you need to study yourself. You are. The truth is, you need to understand yourself. It starts from there. You need to know the things that turns you on. You need to know the things that, you know, puts you off and all of that. It helps you to begin to build yourself. It helps you to know, you know, how best to position yourself. In fact, when you are preparing, for instance, you want to make a presentation, the ability to know yourself helps you to prepare your slide in such a way that you will be comfortable. I cannot tailor my slide to somebody else's slide and be comfortable presenting it. It may be a struggle. I need to know how best I pick lines. You know, in my slide, it helps me to prepare my slide in that format.
Or else you will not only
infographics and all of that.
The original with you. It will be like you copied it from somewhere. You know, and it would affect your audience. They will pick it. That is not genuine.
Of course. Of course. So I haven't said, you know, that as regards self-discovery, which is a very important project that I think each and everyone needs to pay attention to, because there's that tendency that we pay attention to other things and leave that out. Now, the other thing is continuous, you know, acquisition of knowledge. The truth is,
acquisition of knowledge.
Life is dynamic. Now, if what I am still applying, if the only knowledge that I'm applying, like I said, I studied banking and finance in my first degree. If all I know today is all I learned when I did my first degree, I would no longer be relevant in what I'm doing. In fact, I would say that most of the things that one apply today are the things that one learned after the first degree program. So it tells you that things are changing rapidly. There are a lot of, if you don't want to be outdated, if you don't want to be, irrelevant within, the workspace place, you need to continue to add knowledge to yourself on a timely basis.
Great.
Now, knowledge as it relates to your job function, knowledge as it relates to your environment. You see, people, there are some people that all they know is just what applies to their work. Unfortunately, you will be limited if that is all that you are paying attention to. You also need to understand the things that are happening in other fields.
Wow.
In almost everything, because it would be required at one point or the other. Of course, by the virtue of my job, I've had to handle projects as it relates to oil and gas. I've had to handle projects as it relates to healthcare. I've had to handle projects as it relates to telecommunication. I've had to handle projects as it relates, to transportation and many more of such kind of, project. The question is, how have I been able to function in these various areas that are not directly related to what I studied in school? Continuous knowledge acquisition. From time to time, one invests. I tell people, don't just use social media to chat with friends.
Thank you, sir.
To chat away without any value. Use social media as a leapfrog into those areas that would add value to what you're doing.
Excellent.
in your office, so that when you are you find yourself in different places, you are able to communicate knowledge. People listen, hear you, and see that you are making sense, and you are not just talking for to just waste away time. So for me, continuous knowledge acquisition does not mean that you have to enroll for a 4 or 5 master degree program. No, if you have opportunity for that, fine. But the truth is, the world has been so liberalized that you have access to a lot more than we had 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Yes, sir.
I remember when I was doing my project, when I was doing my first degree project, someone had to help me get document at the Securities and Exchange Commission, audited financials of companies, had to help me get them, those documents in hard copies.
Wow.
And sent them to me in school. But today, these are things that you can reach out to and get on the internet. So a lot of things has changed. But unfortunately, whilst things have changed, people are also not making the most of all these privileges that have been brought our way. So we need to recap. One, we need to discover ourselves as a project. Self-discovery is a project that each and every one of us must embark on, because that helps us to master ourselves. Whilst you are mastering your profession, you also need to have a mastery of yourself as an as an individual, because you are your biggest asset. You are the person that people are going to meet with before they are able to drill down into the knowledge that you carry.
This is true, sir.
So that's one. Number two, we need to continuously invest in acquiring knowledge from time to time. You know, as long as you are still alive, there is still something that you have not known that you need to know.
This is great.
So that you can make the most of wherever you find yourself.
This is great, sir. Thank you very much for this. And just to support what Mr. Bolarinwa is talking about. You need to be vast. You need to be vast. For example, I want to show you, I used to have a series. Now, I used to have a series about 14 books, a particular series. This is like secret series, not the general secret series. It's about 14, quite expensive books. I didn't get them cheaply. And I've read every of the 14, maybe 14 or 12 or thereabout. I've read everything. I'm a preacher. I write Christian stuffs, and there are a lot of books. Why? Because I know that I'm not leading dummies. I'm not leading dummies. These are, anytime my friends who are into what's it called, business, some of these career guys, once they begin to get books, I try to check Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, what do they read? Check Forbes list, go on YouTube, check universities, find out what they are teaching their students. Don't sit down there and say, because I mean, for example, sir, when on WhatsApp, I know that I'm very active on WhatsApp, and people see me write on WhatsApp, all right? And every morning, sometimes in the afternoon, doesn't matter what I'm doing, I may even be about to take a shower, and then I just write something, and then it goes viral and blesses people. Something I sit down with a book and then I'm copy pasting it. When you read wide, it expands your internal horizon. You can begin to interact with men like Bishop Oyedepo. Why, although you don't have the privilege to meet them in person, you have a collection of their books. You begin to see their ideologies. You begin to sense the way they think. It begins to affect you from the inside. You begin to get where you don't have the transport fare to get there, but 800 naira, 2,000 naira, 3,000 naira books. Some believers are so lazy, they find reading books to be a difficult task, spending money on books as a waste. Pastor, before I left the university, by the grace of God, I should have read, if not more than 1,000 books. My room in Great Caribbean Hostel, from the ground to the ceiling, in about 7 to 9 places, was full of books. When I was leaving, I remember carried a what's it called? This big guest Ghana must go to MFMC FXU, because the Lord gave me an instruction. I dropped it there. There were friends. There are some of my disciples. Some of them may be following online now. Some of them, I gave them 50 books, 20 books, 30 books. That's how I gave it out. Now I'm just starting to build my library again. I read because I know that I'm not that smart. You are not that intelligent for where you are going. Don't pride yourself thinking that because you're already earning a little here and there, you have arrived. No. When you begin, the Bible says, if you contend with men and they weary you, how will you contend with horses? We are talking of national transformation. You are talking of a revival that will spread and linger after you have gone. You are not talking showbiz. You are talking something intentional. You must expand your mind. I want to advise you, especially those of you that are really into business, like very core. Go on LinkedIn. You should not be a business person and you are not on LinkedIn. Which Jesus are you following that you are not on LinkedIn? You should be on LinkedIn because you should add to knowledge virtue. And so if at the level of knowledge you're not doing well, then it's a sign that you are setting up yourself for failure. Go on LinkedIn. Find friends that are already on LinkedIn. Let them help you build the profile, tell you what to do. Get a CV. There are people, sir, that don't have a CV. They say, submit your CV now. Say, hey, oh God of mercy. It's not about mercy now. Mercy is very powerful, and favor comes to those who are prepared. Favor comes to those who are prepared. So go on LinkedIn if you're a business person. Even if you are selling hair oil, you are selling whatever you are selling, there is space for you on LinkedIn. I tell you. Secondly, maximize YouTube. I can't just begin to go into something. There are universities that are putting their courses online, seminaries that are putting all kinds of things. and you'll be surprised what it will cost you maybe $1,000 to learn. Just 10 to 12 videos, sitting down alone, getting serious and writing down. You will be surprised what you already know. You become your phone will become like an institute, like a mobile university. That's what my phone is. When you see me on WhatsApp chatting, forget it. My second phone, I'm working there. But because I'm online, I'm seeing what you are doing. So use your YouTube, like Pastor Bolarinwa said, use your LinkedIn. Don't live on WhatsApp. Listen, the best way to maximize WhatsApp is having discovered your purpose, your business. You know what you want to do with your life. WhatsApp is for WhatsApp is for informing people that are in your own circle. WhatsApp is not for external, it's for the people in your own circle, your broadcast list, for marketing your product, your wares, or advertising or preaching the gospel. WhatsApp is local, is a local stuff. Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, even Facebook now. Not many people are engaging that much on Facebook. YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. Engage in these places. Don't localize your destiny. If a generation is waiting for you, your clients are on those sites. You keep praying for God to change your levels, but your associations have not changed. No new information has been supplied to challenge your preconceived notions. You cannot change. Transformation, like a man of God will say, is at the mercy of exposure. What you expose yourself to part-time will affect you. I remember Pastor Bolarinwa sent me about 15 to 18 books of Bishop Oyedepo. He just sent the entire collection to me. I started eating them. That's how it should be. Challenge yourself towards greatness. And when people see, sir, I noticed something about you great men. When you see that a young person is beginning to have traction, is taking his life seriously, you are seeing some coordination, all right, some intentionality. Then they now begin to gradually invest in you. Nobody will give you or borrow you money. There are people that want to start business. Maybe you will talk about that. And they think everybody should borrow them money because they know them. Nobody will borrow you money because they know you. They are not seeing any value. Is it? So, sir, let me ask this question because you are the one teaching us, sir. And I will just thank you very much, Sister Faye. She said YouTube is highly underrated by a lot of people. Very true. You don't know what you are missing on YouTube. That's my own university since I graduated. Sir, I want to ask you a question. How do you raise funds as a startup? How do you get money to start your business?
Okay. So that's an interesting question. I hope the audience will pay for this free consulting.
We are grateful. We are grateful, sir.
Okay, so how do you raise money as a startup? Of course, I think you've hit the nail on the head. A lot of people, most times expect that people, because they have one brilliant idea, in quotes, people will jump at them and be chasing them with money. The reality is, as a startup,
yes, sir,
there are a lot of question marks around it, particularly with a startup.
Okay.
That's is being promoted by someone who does not have an antecedent in running a business before as an entrepreneur. It's easier. Okay. For instance, a Dangote can want to start a company now, a new business idea. That is equally a startup, but of course, he's proven a track record in several other companies. So there's a way, in which banks, in which investors will look at someone like him because of his antecedents, and be willing to take a bet on him. But of course, for an individual who probably just left school, or who is just about to branch out from a paid employment into a new idea that is intending to promote.
Okay.
That is a startup with a unique risk profile, because of course there is a risk of the business idea and there is the risk of the promoter. So you have two levels of key risk. In fact, three. There's the risk of the business idea, the risk of the promoter, there's the risk of the market, you know, and of course there's also the risk as the general risk, as it may cut across everybody in terms of the political consideration and a whole lot of other risks that you may want to look at. But the key concern that creates the phobia, you know, for people who ordinarily you will be looking towards to support you, is the fact that, number one, it's possible you've not proven that idea in terms of having tested that idea before. So, of course, you are telling them to take a bet on an idea that has not been tested. You know, that's one. Number two, you are also telling them to take a bet on your person who has not started in before. Because as an entrepreneur, when you are just starting, you are going to be both the CEO. In some cases, you will also be the CEO, the chief operating officer. You are also going to be the accountant and all of that, all embedded in one person. And of course, you probably may have worked somewhere before and have occupied just one position, not having all of this embedded into one person. So it means there are a lot of what if that are there. And the reason why I'm going in this direction is to help people to appreciate and not to get angry and get disappointed in people when you sell your ideas to people and it appears that people do not seem to be coming to the table. It's because the truth is nobody wants to throw away his hard-earned resources. So usually when you want to, as a startup, number one, or the primary source of funding that is usually available to startup is your own saved capital. It starts with your own saved capital.
Your own saved capital.
Yes. And people need to bear in mind, and again, for the young ones that are just venturing in, starting up their career, it's important for people to bear in mind that if your dream is to start up a company down the line, please, from day one, begin to save towards it. So that you don't just wake up one day and then, you know, start expecting money to jump down from somewhere, except you want to go and break the vault of a bank. But you know what that will lead to. Like I tell people, Awolowo in Lagos. There's a place called Awolowo in Ikoyi in Lagos. People who are in the financial service space who understand that is EFCC's corner. You know, we'll be waiting for such person. So please, it's important for you to start saving, no matter how small. Build a saving culture.
Excellent.
Your own contribution matters a lot when you are starting up your business. Your contribution matters a lot. That's one. Number two, the other second capital that also comes from your end is your credibility.
Credibility.
Your credibility. You know, when people need to realize that it's a very small world that we operate in. No matter how big we claim it is, the truth is, it is still a very small world. What goes around comes around. The reality is, some of the people that you are dealing with today, working with, some of the customers, some others that you are dealing with today may also be the people that you will need tomorrow when you want to start your own business. Now, if you build credibility with them, they may be willing to give you credit, you know, when you are starting your own business. Which is why I said it is
credibility
your own.
is a form of currency.
It is. It is. You know, because if you don't have that credibility with them, the reality is you will be as, you know, some people in the guise of what they want today, they just burn bridges instead of building bridges. They just burn bridges and destroy relations, no longer be there to serve them. So it's important to build credibility, because that is also a form of capital. You will, in some years down the line, you may need to monetize that credibility as a form of capital when you need it. You know, so that's number two. And of course, I believe if you speak with some entrepreneurs that have done well in their business, some of them will tell you that it will attest to the fact that this issue of credibility, was part of some of the things that they had on the table at the time that they wanted to start up. In fact, this issue of credibility is also, you can also monetize it to bring in investors, because the people who are going to take a bet on you, if by chance you have the opportunity of people coming in at that early stage to bring their money to support you, they are the people who have known you. People who you have offered service to, where you know, in one form or the other. People who have, you have shown competence to. People who have seen you to be trustworthy. Those are the same set of people that you will eventually have to, bring to the table down the line when you eventually want to venture into your own. And so, I mentioned two things. Savings, which of course will down the line becomes capital. Your credibility, which can be monetized as credit or even to bring in investors. Then number three, your family and friends. Your family and friends. The truth is, of course, in some cases, sometimes your family and friends may not believe in your vision, but of course, some in spite of the fact that maybe they don't see the big picture. But because of the relationship that they established with you, they are able to, take a bet on you, which is what a typical investor by the roadside, a typical investor in the marketplace may not be willing to do. So it's important that you bring, your family and friends into the picture, at the time when you're going to start. Try as much as possible to engage with them. Have a conversation with them. These are your immediate environment. These are is even possible beyond the funding. This may be your first set of customers that will patronize you. So it's important that you, as much as possible, it may take time to convince them, but try as much as possible to convince them to sell the idea to them, because they may just be the winning ticket that you need to start the journey.
Wow.
Then of course, the other traditional way, going to the bank and going to the market to raise funds and all of that.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. This is amazing. I want to see your comments, my friends. I want to see your comments. Everyone following. How are you finding this? This thing you're sharing with us. Do you consider it to be wisdom? Is it helping you? Is it answering some of your questions? I want to see some of your comments. He would also be saying, all right, let's get feedbacks from you. All right, as we continue. Let's get feedbacks from you as we continue. So he mentioned savings, personal savings. All right, my wife is saying so much wisdom, sir. That's great. Thank you. All right, he mentioned credibility. He mentioned family and friends. So if you're not personally saving for what you call your dream, your vision, it means is you don't believe it. That's why it's not costing you any financial investment. There's no implication on your own finance. So you want to gamble with other people's money. That's why some people will ask you, okay, this you said you need 3 million. How much have you raised? Haman Adams from Borno State. God bless you. He said very insightful. That's true. How much have you raised? Then if you say, okay, I've been able to raise up, are you sure? Yes, okay. Okay, take this. Take 2%, take 5%. Secondly, he mentioned credibility. And sir, this is a big deal today. Tommy Fad says, I'm receiving sense here, sincerely. Good. She's a upcoming business lady, and she's doing well. I'm proud of you. And I'm glad that you are here. Let me say that concerning credibility, sir, Amaris Light IBK is saying, honestly, so much wisdom, sir, enlightening. She's also a very strong social media expert. She's a wise woman, young lady. God bless you. Thank you for the comments. Let it keep coming. Now, you see, concerning credibility, sir, it is true. Yoruba would say, you know, some of the adages that we have is actually true. All right, sometimes you may not look it, but there are some people that can recommend you, and you'll be surprised who they know. Although they are not even shouting, they are not even living bogus. They are down to earth. Maybe they are following the rule that some financial experts have said that you should live 2 levels lesser than what you actually have. So if you have money for 3-bedroom flats, go and rent. Well, that's not always the case, but what they are saying is we must learn to delay gratification, for a bigger goal. Please, your credibility matter. If you don't treat, and it begins from everyday interactions. I know Mr. Bolarinwa would have shared with us on that, and that's why I decided to summarize it because of time. Your credibility matters a lot. If you don't interact well with people day by day, you are not building credibility. Listen, every 24 hours you have is an opportunity to build credibility. Every 24 hours, I'm telling you, every day I'm trying to invest. Listen, you cannot make a withdrawal from anyone that you have not invested in, either psychologically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. If there is no investment and you want to withdraw, check it. Go and call your uncle that's in the US that you have not spoken to since 3 years ago when you asked for money. You'll be surprised. You'll be like, what? See, I'm busy. I mean, the country is hard. He just posted a picture of him in McDonald's enjoying, and the country is hard. Why? Because he does not consider your need as priority. You have not invested anything. On his birthday, you said nothing to him. You sent him no message. You didn't appreciate him. All right, you know what he likes. You didn't do it. You didn't honor him. You didn't give to his children. You didn't call to pray for it. Not just encouragement. You did nothing. But when you have a need, you reach out. Please, brethren, let us not join those who only reach out when they have needs from great people. Great people will be far from you like that. Great people don't have time for psychophancy. Be real, be genuine, but please be true. Be true. Be true. Be genuine. Listen, sometimes it's just a little airtime. Somebody is adding value to you. A little airtime, sir, it's small. The person does not need your airtime, but he or she is saying, okay, this person is beginning to learn to discern value. Okay, let's see. The person may not talk. Sometimes you give to people and you expect the great person to say, wow, you have changed my life. No, they may just say, oh, okay, God bless you. Some will even say you didn't need to have done this, but you be wise. You know what you are doing. And you are not giving because you really want them to give to you. It's a culture of honor that ask any great person. Even those secular guys that you think they don't know anything, some of them, the way they treat their superior, you will think the person is a god. Why are you hyping? Or why are you hyping this person? Some of us don't know this thing. And little things count with respect to investment, all right, in people. Sir, it happened to me recently. I'll just share a part of it. Somebody who I mentor knows somebody that I know that I might meet maybe when the person's wife listens to my message and say, okay, this is a man of God. But it may take a while. And this person I mentor knows this person. This is a very top manager somewhere. And because this young lady shares my what's it called? I do broadcasts and all that. Because of the way I treat that young lady, she keeps sharing, and I don't force her to share. She just shares it. That her auntie now says, "Come, this person, this young man, you always follow him. What has he done for you?" And when she listed to the sister or the aunt what all right God has helped us to do, the woman reached out to me, and the rest. Let's leave the rest for imagination. So it's important that you build credibility, like Mr. Bolarinwa was. I'm only reiterating on he has said it. Build credibility. Please don't fail people in business. Always try to meet up, all right, with the expectations you give people. It is even better, like some would say, under promise and over deliver. Don't tell people this is the best thing in the world since Coca-Cola, and they found out that it's not. Don't give people a deadline that you can't meet. Don't tell them tomorrow. Artisans do that a lot. Your car will be ready tomorrow morning. Trust me, this time the old engine will bring it down, put it back tomorrow morning. And then you get there tomorrow morning, that you have to take back to work. After 2 weeks, you get it. It is better to set, all right, a gap so that you don't overpressure yourself. If you know you cannot get it done in 4 days, and you know this person is very important in your life, tell the person, how about 7 days? And the person, okay, can you make it 6? And I say, okay, 6, I will try. When you now get it done in 4 days and you send it, the person feels, wow. In fact, sir, for example, I edit books for people. If you tell me, can you do this job in 3 days? I'll tell you, no, this is a 2-week job. It's a 2-week job. And I know it's something I can do actually in 9 hours. It's a 2-week job because I need to perfect what I'm doing. But I tell you, if I get it done before that time and I send it, it gives him more value than, wow, you were able to do this. But if you just go there and overpromise and say, now you will get it, and they are waiting, they have not gotten it. After a while, you begin to lose, all right, on your integrity bank. Later, they won't trust you. The next time you say, sir, I have a 3 million project. Look at the lady recently that said that she was being molested, she was being raped. Did you hear that? That went viral. I'm telling you, people took her seriously, and it's an old story. A fox, somebody will cry from the mountain and say, a fox is about to destroy me. The whole city will go on. They will say the house is burning. Later one day, when it really happened, nobody came. Don't be like that. Let people take you seriously. You shouldn't be saying, I'm serious. So for people to say, I'm serious, I'm dying. They say, oh, you're not dying. That's how you used to say. No. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. Thirdly, he shared on family and friends. I remember 6 years ago, I read a very interesting book. The person said, see, if you want to raise money for your business, concerning family and friends now, right? Concerning what Pastor Bolarinwa said, family and friends, write down the names of those in your family you think are capable. Don't go and write down the person that is borrowing money from you that are capable. Secondly, those friends, and that's why your network, you must increase your network this year. Don't have the same number of friends you have last year, this year. Say, me, I don't have too many friends. You think you are proud that you don't have money and you don't have friends. What are you doing? Work with people that some people don't want to leave their comfort zone because certain friends are ahead of them and they want to stretch them intellectually, and they don't want to adjust. They want to be the king of the hill where they so that they will be controlling others. You will not improve that way. You can't be global like that. You should be flexible to change. You say, I like the way this person did this thing. Well, I can do this. Let me adjust. Don't think what you believe is all that there is. What you believe, say you don't know it as you ought to. Do you see? So your family and friends, write out families and friends that if you can help, then reach out to them carefully. Don't go 6 a.m. and send them a message. I'm about to die. Send me money. They won't send it. Check their status. I'm giving you tips now as a man of God. Check their status. That day they are happy. They are writing some. You too, you comment. You comment on that stuff and say, then conversation begins. Don't just go and say, see now, sir, I'm dying. You are not helping me. Why is life like this? Christianity says people are not loving. You won't get a kobo, shishi. You won't get. So apply wisdom, study trends, observe people. Then if they tell you, I'm so sorry, I'm not able to do this, don't press and say you must do something. Ask them, okay, but can you, okay, what about this? Okay, I will see what I can do. Then don't go the next one and say, you promised me yesterday, or I say I should greet you. I is family now. Stop all those things. Let's be mature. All right, sir, so that, because you see, he's a wise man. He shared it in 2 minutes. I'm sharing it in 30 minutes. That's why I need to upgrade too. So let's do something. Let's allow for Mr. Bolarinwa, I don't know if you can please give us the opportunity. Let's allow for questions and so that you can answer questions, and then we'll wrap it up. We know that you fly to work tomorrow. So please, my friends, go ahead. Let's ask questions very quickly. Post it here. We will be checking your questions, and he will be answering your questions. This is a big privilege. Please, let's maximize it. So go ahead now and throw in your questions very quickly. Very quickly. Very quickly, please. We'll give you a few minutes to do that before we allow Mr. Bolarinwa to go. If you have questions, please send it. Somebody saying, if I'm to support your business idea. Okay, this is Bro Paul Toba. Good evening, sir. If I'm to support your business ideas, I think personal savings should be laid more emphasis upon. Support your business, you must let me know how much you have saved. Some would even tell you, send me your account, screenshot what you have. This will show how serious you are. Thank you, sir. That's true. Thank you, sir. That's true. No deposit, no withdrawal. Jessica Emmanuel. Thank you. That's true. This is wisdom. Yes, no deposit, no withdrawal. I like that. All right. So, who is asking questions, or you want to give us feedback?
Yes, sir. Let me make whilst we're waiting for the question.
Yes, question.
Let me make a little more emphasis on the family and friends bit.
Okay, sir.
So
Thank
that
you,
some of us people can avoid some of the pitfalls that makes that window of funding not to come true. So when you are approaching a family or a friend with a business idea, you need to bear in mind that there is a cost to the funds that the person is giving to you. You are not asking for money to go and buy shoe. You are not asking for money for breakfast. Neither are you asking for money to spend for an holiday. You are asking him for money that you want to invest in a business idea. So the way you will typically approach your investors, selling the business ideas to them and telling them the opportunity and the returns that they should be expecting, that is the same way you want to approach your family or you want to approach your friend. The people, take people that are close to them for granted and they approach them wrongly. So if you are going to approach me for money that goes into a business venture, you need to tell me what is in it for me. Because even yourself that you believe in the idea, if you believe in the idea sufficiently for you to venture into it and you believe that it's going to turn out to be something big, you should be able to sell the idea to me and know that this is a commercial transaction, a commercial conversation as against a platonic, sort of conversation. So in approaching the people that you call your family or your friends, you should please go to them pitching an investor case before them, investment case before them, as against going to them and say, hey, please just give me 1 million naira, without telling the person, the use of funds, telling the person, how long it's going to take for the money to come back, or without telling the person what stake the person is going to enjoy in the business by the virtue of the money is bringing to the table. So what you enjoy by the virtue of their relationship with you is that it paves the way for you to engage with them, as against looking for an investor that you don't have a relationship with. You can easily approach your family and friends because you already have a relationship with them, and you can secure an appointment with them for engagement. But of course, for an external party, you may need to go through some formalities, before you can get their attention and all of that. And you may need to sell before you even sell the business opportunity to them. But in this case, they already know you. You are simply just selling the opportunity to them and telling them the benefits that they have to stand to enjoy if they are part of this opportunity. So we need to bear that in mind, because so that we don't make the mistakes that people do make by taking for granted their family and friends when they are approaching them for business funding support.
Thank you very much, sir. Wow. This is wisdom. You all are paying $1 million for this master class. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, Jesse Emmanuel is asking a question quickly. I have a question. I have a business idea, but I'm seeing another organization or business doing the same thing, but not credible enough. Can I still go ahead with my business as a solution?
Okay. The simple answer to it is yes. But there's more to the yes than just saying an emphatic yes. And I'm going to get into that. Now, you have a business idea. I believe you must have gone through the typical process of establishing, because people can have ideas fly every time.
Yes, sir.
I may be driving along the way and I'm seeing different kind of ideas. It doesn't mean all the ideas that come to my mind are supposed to be converted into a business venture. So you need to prune the idea sufficiently and establish that this is actually meant to be a business solution. And once you have gone through the process of testing the idea, and determine that this is actually meant to be a business solution, of course the reality is, as you I believe you are well aware that every business initiative will always have a competition.